It was 2003 when the case of Natalee Holloway shocked the world. The 18-year-old Alabama teenager had been on the trip of a lifetime to the beautiful island of Aruba with her high school classmates, but then she vanished without a trace. No one knows what happened to her, but there are some pretty terrifying theories. While in Aruba, Holloway stayed at the upscale beachfront hotel, the Holiday Inn Resort. On May, she and several other students left the hotel for a night out on the town, but she never returned. What makes this case so disturbing is that no one can agree on what actually happened to her. Some think foul play was involved, while others believe she simply ran away. But is the truth even more sinister? Let us take a look at the timeline of the disappearance of Natalee Holloway and see if we can come to our own conclusions. On May 2003, just after midnight, surveillance footage caught Natalee leaving the Holiday Inn, where she was staying with her classmates from Mountain Brook High School. The footage showed her walking into the casino across the street with her friend, then returning alone moments later. According to reports, Natalee had been drinking heavily throughout the evening, leading many to believe that she may have stumbled back to her hotel room by herself. However, the footage from the Holiday Inn parking lot told a different story. At 12:50 a.m., cameras captured a white van entering the lot. It drove past the hotel lobby and reception area before stopping near Natalee's room. A person matching the description of Natalee could be seen on the upper level of the hotel. Then at 1:30 a.m., the same van pulled up to the same spot and two men were seen walking up to the third floor. Moments later, they returned to the van, which then drove away. When Natalee failed to show up for breakfast at 8:30 a.m., her friends and family began to worry. Her mother, Beth, went down to the hotel lobby to ask if anyone had seen her, but nobody had. So Beth filed a missing persons report with the local police. As news of Natalee's disappearance spread, thousands of people took to the streets of orange-chested Aruba's capital city new to search for her. But their efforts were hampered by the heavy police presence and tight security measures in place around the hotel. It seemed like the police were trying to keep something hidden from them. In the days following Natalee's disappearance, investigators focused on several persons of interest, including the two men seen on the hotel CCTV footage. One of those men was Natalee's classmate, Jeroen van der Sloot, who was also staying at the hotel. While the police questioned him, it became clear that he was being completely honest about his whereabouts at the time of the disappearance. For example, he claimed that he had seen Natalee at a beachside bar after leaving the casino. But surveillance footage proved that she had never been there. In addition, one witness came forward to claim that she had seen Jeroen with a girl matching Natalee's description on a beach near the high-rise hotels on the night she disappeared. Furthermore, another classmate claimed that Jeroen had boasted about having sex with Natalee before she vanished. Despite all this evidence against him, the police never formally charged Jeroen with any crime related to Natalee's disappearance. But why would they let such a crucial piece of evidence slip through their fingers? To make matters worse, after talking to the police, Jeroen flew back to his native Netherlands and refused to return to Aruba, claiming that he feared for his safety. Even though he didn't want to go back to the island, Jeroen didn't seem to mind sticking around in the media spotlight. He appeared on Dutch talk shows, discussing Natalee's disappearance, and even wrote a story about it for a local newspaper. He made it sound like Natalee had simply run away from home. But why would he do that? Could he have been trying to cover up his tracks? As the investigation continued, the police learned that Natalee had been seen arguing with her parents over the phone in the days leading up to her disappearance. They believed that she may have been planning to stay in Aruba longer than they had planned, or even run away from home altogether. This theory was further supported by the fact that Natalee had been seen withdrawing large amounts of money from Atima's, using her debit card on the night she disappeared. But there was one problem with this theory. If Natalee had run away, why would someone have taken her from the parking lot? Was it possible that her parents had something to do with her disappearance? As the weeks turned into months, the police began to lose hope of ever finding Natalee alive. They had scoured every inch of Aruba and still had no leads. The only thing that kept them going was the support of Natalee's parents, who never gave up hope that their daughter would be found. Meanwhile, the media frenzy surrounding the case had died down, but that didn't stop Beth Holloway from keeping the pressure on the police. She traveled to Aruba every month to meet with the chief of police and demand answers. She also hired her own team of private investigators and started a website to share updates on the case and appeal for information. But none of them could solve the mystery either. Then in 2014, almost 11 years after Natalee's disappearance, a break in the case seemed imminent when Joran van der Sloot was arrested in Chile on fraud and extortion charges. He was extradited back to Aruba and charged with 3 counts of manslaughter in connection with Natalee's death. It appeared that justice was finally being served. But then something strange happened. Just hours after hearing the news, Beth Holloway released a statement saying that she and her lawyer did not believe Joran was responsible for her daughter's disappearance. In fact, she expressed disappointment that the police had arrested him, claiming that they had ignored new evidence she had given them. According to Beth, this evidence consisted of text messages between Joran and Natalee in the days leading up to her disappearance. But despite her claims, Joran was convicted of manslaughter in 2017 and sentenced to 28 years in prison. To this day, he maintains his innocence and has refused to reveal what happened to Natalee's body. But could Beth be right? Is Joran innocent and someone else responsible for the crime? Or is she merely trying to protect her daughter's killer? With no solid evidence to go on, we may never know the truth of what happened to Natalee Holloway. But that hasn't stopped people from coming up with their own theories. Some believe that she was kidnapped by a stranger, while others think that her friends or even her own parents were involved. There is even a theory that suggests that Natalee faked her own death to get away from her controlling parents. But none of these theories are more sinister than the one that points the finger at Joran himself. Whether he's guilty or not, the fact that he has been in prison for 5 years without providing any answers does Ian bode well for him. If he really didn't kill Natalee, then he should be eager to prove it. After all, he has nothing to gain by keeping her body hidden. The question is, why would Joran van der Sloot confess to killing Natalee Holloway if he didn't do it? And why does he refuse to reveal her body's location? Some say that he simply wants to protect her family from further pain and suffering. Others believe that he's hiding something more sinister. Perhaps he was involved in something much bigger than Natalee's death. Maybe he's part of a dangerous criminal organization that will stop at nothing to protect its own. Or maybe he knows something about the government that he's not supposed to and is being punished for it. Whatever the truth may be, one thing is certain. The disappearance of Natalee Holloway remains one of the most mysterious unsolved cases in history, and we may never know what truly happened to her. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please remember to like and subscribe. Until next time.